We're going to cover the structures of the wrist and hand. The wrist and hand is a very complicated structure. There's a lot of movement that happens in the wrist and the hand, which makes us different from other primates. Specifically, we have the movement of opposition between the fifth digit and the thumb. The structures of the hand: the bones are the 8 carpal bones. We have the metacarpal, which are the long bones of the palm of the hand, and the phalanges, which are the bones of the fingers, the digits. We also have soft tissue. We have the muscles of the thumb that form the thenar pad, the muscles of the fingers, specifically the fifth digit, which forms the hypothenar eminence or hypothenar pad. We have the flexor retinaculum, which is a band of fascia that holds in place the tendons from the forearm that control the fingers. We also have on the posterior surface of the wrist the extensor retinaculum, which again is the fascia that holds the tendons in place that operates the fingers. This is a picture of the bones of the hand. This is a posterior view here, and I know it's the posterior view because I cannot see the pisiform bone. This picture on the right hand side clearly shows the pisiform bone, and that gives us the clue that this is the anterior view of the bony structures of the hand. This is the left hand as it's held up into the air. So here is the thumb of the left hand and the digits of the left hand. This bone right here is the radius, the distal end of the radius. This is the distal end of the ulna. These are pictures of the carpal bones, the anterior and the posterior view. Again, this is the distal end of the radius. This is the distal end of the ulna. This is the left hand. I know this, but this is the pisiform bone here. And if I look at the bones, this is the pisiform bone, the triquetrum, which is kind of underneath, the lunate, the scaphoid, the hamate bone. This highlighted area is called the hook of the hamate, the capitate bone, the trapezoid, and the trapezium. And this trapezium is a very special bone. It has convex and concave surfaces, and it is the only saddle joint in the body, and that allows our thumb to have the great deal of movement that it does. This is the posterior view, and again, you can't really see the pisiform bone here, but you can see the triquetrum, the lunate, the scaphoid, the hamate, the capitate bone, the trapezoid, and the triquetrum. You can see that there are actually 2 sets of carpal bones. There are 2 rows of 4. The muscles of the thumb and the fingers are very intricate, and you can see here the very fleshy muscles of the thumb, the very fleshy muscles of the fifth digit, and then the second, third, and fourth digits all share common muscle roots here. This would be the anterior view. This area, again, is called the thenar pad, and this is called the hypothenar pad. This is the flexor retinaculum, and you can see the tendons of the forearm as they pass underneath the flexor retinaculum and go to each of these digits to operate the digits. This is a close-up picture of the flexor retinaculum, and again you can see the tendons of the forearm as they go underneath that flexor retinaculum. This would be the muscles of the thumb and the muscles of the fifth digit. This is a picture of the extensor retinaculum, so this would be on the posterior surface of the wrist. And again, you can see the tendons, the extensors of the fingers, the digits, as they pass underneath the extensor retinaculum. The retinaculums are like band-aids that hold the tendons to place.